On this edition of the Rev Cooks, the Rev's not cooking anything. What the Rev's doing is mixing up the Blakedog family seasoning mix. All right, so just a real quick, simple, easy seasoning mix. I use this seasoning for fries when I feel like it, or like on burgers, or a lot of different things around the house. Just a real nice combination of flavors. Like anything, I kind of got into this because it was one of those, like, we were using, like, you know, no salt, not no salt, but like seasoned salt or whatever for seasoning things. And I thought to myself, I feel like I can do a better job than this. So that's how I came up with this seasoning mix. So just gonna toss these seasonings together and we're done. So let's get to it. Okay, so real quick and simple here. We're gonna have, this obviously scales as much up or down as you need, not a big deal. But this is what I use. It kind of keeps it nice and fresh because it's not like a ton, but it's a good amount. So we're gonna start with 2 tablespoons of paprika. So 2 tablespoons paprika, all right. 3 teaspoons of salt. This is not like a ton of salt. This is not a very super salty mixture. You can obviously add a lot more salt if you'd like, but this is kind of what we do around here because I always feel like if you want something to be more salty, you can always add salt, but you can never take salt away. So 3 teaspoons of whatever type of salt you prefer, okay? 2 teaspoons of black pepper. So I go fresh cracked, as you know, if you've watched any of my other videos. That's kind of what I do. So the pepper part of this is a little bit of a guess, but that's okay. I sort of crack this until I feel like it looks like about 2 teaspoons here. But if you want to use, you know, already ground black pepper, or if you have an electric one, I'm too cheap to buy an electric one, so I just do it by hand. Plus it gets me, you know, some extra steps for the day. Oh wait, I'd have to be using that one. To do this, it just takes a little bit of effort. So I just ground it up. Looks like that's probably about 1.5. And there we go. That's about 2 teaspoons of black pepper. And, you know, you can put more or less if you want. Not a big deal, okay? 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon of onion powder. And then a ½ teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So it does have a little bit of a kick to it. If you don't want that much of a kick, obviously you can do less. Or if you like a lot more kick, you can do more, or you can take it all out together. I find this just gives a nice warm kick to it. So it has a little bit of, like, all that salty, has a little bit of flavor, and there's a little bit of warmth behind the palate there. So that's why I add a little bit of cayenne pepper in there. Mix these guys together real nice. Make sure you break up any of these little pieces that show up that are kind of like big chunky ones. That does happen with your spices sometimes as it sits, depending on weather outside, clumps up a little bit. Nice combination there. Smells like paprika mostly because that's mostly what it is. Then you're gonna wanna put this in some sort of container. I took an old spice container from years down the road and washed it out and, you know, repurposed it for my own spices. So if I can get the lid off here. Okay. And then we're gonna put this in there. So to use that, I just use a little funnel here, not like some, you know, crazy trick here. So I'm just gonna scoop that stuff into the funnel and it'll just go right into my little containers of seasoning mix. Doesn't make a ton, but it makes a good amount to just sort of, you know, work for you. You know, that way you can make it often and it stays more fresh, because sometimes the, you know, spices get old if they sit too long. You know, there's a lot of ways to transfer these things in here, but I have this lovely yellow funnel, so I'll go ahead and use it. So just get all that in there. There we go. And pop your lid back on. And then you can even give it a little bit more of a shake, mix it up real nice in there. There you go. Nice, simple, easy, well-balanced seasoning mixture that we like around the Blakedog household. So, you know, there you go. All right, simple, basic seasoning mix. I hope that you and your family like it. Because we like it around here and it works for us. So, but you can, alter those ingredients as much or little as you like. It's your seasoning. Do what you want with it. So, any case, until next time, I'm Rev Blakedog. Enjoy.
A Rev Blakedog production.